So I was talking about whether a certain band should get back together. I think if being together is going to make the best product, the best environment, the best music, the best, you know, moments for them, they should. If it's not, no. Because they did something so wonderful that even I'm like 51 and I'm remembering how I used to love this music when I was younger. I don't want them to come together and it's not good just to come together for the fans. No, you do it because you love each other, because you love the music, you love the product, you love what you create together. And it's just like this. If someone's in your life and it works, it works. If someone's in your life and it doesn't work anymore, it's time to separate and go and do your own thing. But if you can come together and do something and make that make your music feel and sound the same way it did, please come together. The other thing I wanted to talk about that, which is something else, is they said, oh, a very famous person. This always happens. A very famous person. And I'm kind of like starting to, my face is what's the name. He's like, oh, he likes your videos. I would love it if a famous person liked my videos, but I also would love it if a non-famous person likes my videos. I'm appreciative either way. But I'm my face, I'm doing this because they're like, oh, that person. Here's what I think also. I think part of what this crazy making is their idea that mm, I'm not a human being. Like I can't feel those feelings. And they talked about again men feeling those feelings. I look at videos where men are talking and I wonder sometimes, do men realize that some of the things they talk about we don't understand as women. Maybe it's because we would just, if we feel those feelings, we just say it, or we say it in a way that we understand. Sometimes when men are talking about those feelings, they kind of say it in like a weirdish kind of way. And I think for them as women, tend to talk about our feelings in a way that they don't quite understand. Part of why I think this is so horrible, this system that I'm fighting and other people are fighting, is that when we didn't know what was going on and it seemed like this was just happening to us, it was hard to explain. So I think as a woman, I know I can relate to it as a woman, trying to explain myself sometimes to men. And I think for men, they can relate to it as men trying to explain themselves to women, where it's like we're used to people not fully understanding what it's like to go through life for us. And when you put it in those terms, it starts to make more sense. Where certain feelings and emotions I have as a woman, and they got really offended when I talked about being female, and the things our bodies do, and the way we feel sometimes, and how it affects us all day every day. When you talk to another woman about it, she understands. When you talk to a man, it's kind of like, and you look at them like, do you know what I'm even talking about? And sometimes they look at you like, no. But the same thing happens with us as women. Sometimes a man will say something, I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. It's not crazy, it just doesn't make sense. Whereas when I'm listening to these people talk, it's absolute insanity, it's craziness. Thank you for watching.